Hey there peeps, mewmew here and welcome back to Dragalia Lost. Today we have the 1.6.0 update and many other things to talk about, so let's get right into it. So we do have a few notices to talk about today, and we've had at least two videos I've released since yesterday. We had one talking about the double wrymprints and how that works. Also, there is a very big video that I also released talking about the 6-month bonus campaign. That will probably show up as a card right above. Make sure to check that out because I go through all of the things that are coming with the 6-month anniversary. So I'm just so hyped about it, and we'll briefly cover some of them, but not everything, since today's focus is the update. So the first thing we have is more notices, which theoretically will load. There were some issues with the game server. There was also event/promo for the Dragalia Digest. If you haven't watched the Dragalia Digest, I really suggest that you do so. You click that YouTube button right there, and you can watch Not's video on the 6-month bonus, or you can watch my video, which I talk about a little bit more. So you can check either one of those out. Not does share a lot of info regarding the news of the 6-month anniversary, a lot of the events that are coming, and I just gotta say, it's wow. All the things that they're doing for the 6-month anniversary was really awesome. And they did fix the link because apparently they had the wrong link in there, but everything is good now. Also, there is an event that we talked about in my other video, actually in both videos. There is a retweet campaign. Make sure you retweet it. If you go to my 6-month bonus video, I did pin both of those links that you have to retweet on there if you want to retweet both the NA and the JP one to help everybody out. Also, version update. Whew, this is the big one. So version 1.6.0 is now available to download. I already have it. You should have it now too. And if you don't do it yourself, you'll automatically update it on the 26th. So today at 10 p.m. it would force update it. Right now you're just kind of in that grace period if you haven't downloaded already. Also, to commemorate the update, they're going to be sending everybody a 10-fold summon voucher. So there it is. That's awesome. We don't always get summon vouchers when every event, but whenever we have a version update, we're kind of already assured that we're going to get a 10-fold summon voucher. So that's awesome. And they haven't distributed it yet, I think. But, we will get that soon. And that's really nice of them. Also, what's new? One, it's equipping 2 wrymprints. I've already talked about this, but after you complete chapter 2 of the main campaign, you'll be able to equip a second wrymprint. So you'll be able to do very, interesting combinations of your wrymprints, which is really awesome. Also, the wrymprint abilities are the same effect. The effects will stack. However, there is a limit to the effects obtainable via stacking abilities. You cannot exceed the limit for the ability effects, even if the conditions for triggering the abilities differ. This limit does not apply to adventure, weapon, or dragon abilities. Also, you cannot equip 2 wrymprints on the same adventurer. Just now. If the 2 wrymprints have abilities which apply the same buff under the same conditions, those abilities will be considered a single ability. For such abilities, the color of the text and numerical value indicating the effect's potency will change. The text color will also change when the limit has been reached. Cool. Also, added co-op conditions. So now when you create a room, you'll be able to create rooms with certain conditions for entries, such as by weapon types or elements. So you can create these, which is kind of cool that you can do. Also, apparently they're noting that there's a limit to the might or team might the player creating the room can set, which is based on the might of the player. That's awesome, because then that means that if you have a low might, you can't set it really high and just expect to be carried by, beginning people. Also, you'll be able to, when creating rooms for raid battles, you will also be able to set the team element and team might as conditions, which is kind of cool, especially since we're probably going to get a raid event in the near future. Also, players will be found, from those who select to find a room. Whether a player meets the correct conditions to enter a room will be determined based on the leader of the selected team. Okay, any adventures and game steps are still in development. But we have that available now, so it's awesome. Okay. Also, we have feature change for insufficient materials. So basically, if you're trying to upgrade a dojo and you don't have enough of an insignia, you can, from that page, trigger an exchange, which is really awesome. And, you know, that way you don't have to go back to the treasure trade, go trade, and then go back and see if you traded enough things for you to, like, you know, actually get going. No, you will not be able to trade for event materials from facility quests or other events. That makes sense. If there's a material that can be traded, the trade icon will display on the top right of the icon, which is this little, you know, arrow icon. Also, they've added a button to change the game speed. I've already tested this out. I love it. Like, just seeing the characters move at twice the speed is really cute. Also, because this has been really awesome for me for farming IO, and you know, with the double bonus coming for IO, I'm very excited for that because I need some IO farming like no other, because there's so many dojos that I still need to complete. All of my dojos are at minimum at 16. However, my ones are at 29. So I still need to, you know, farm those. Congrats everyone that's done. I will get there soon enough. So damage source display. So this was one that wasn't on the video, but I really liked because apparently it could show you where the damage is coming from. So when you receive persistent damage such as that from afflictions, an icon will now display beside the numerical value to denote the source. So this little thing is kind of like, it's because of poison. Or the directional. I'll have to also see that. So also we have display changes for switching teams. This was actually kind of cool. So based on the element of your leader, it will show the element on top of your screen. So like I have in several teams, I have a different leader type because it helps me kind of toggle between them whenever I'm going to multiplayer or just different quests. I could just, you know, I keep clicking the next one until I find the right one. But now it's going to show you the leader's element right at the top, like, so you can switch them by, you know, scrolling through your teams or just clicking on the elements, and you can, you know, if you're looking for a fire user, you can click on your fire icon if you have one with a fire leader. Also, you can change teams by tapping the team page icon in co-op rooms as well. That is also very awesome because, you know, sometimes like you go in and you have your, you know, your shadow unit and you're like, oh, I need my water ones. You go to edit and go scroll, you know, and this would be very much easier. I just love these quality of life things that they're changing. It's so very nice. Also, some other changes that they've done is that they've added information about bonding with dragons to the dragon's roost under help. The on-off setting for auto will now always be carried over. In High Midgard, it is no longer possible to avoid the Tattered Sky attack by using a support skill or shape-shifting. Huh. Interesting. In Hybrid Nilda's Trial, it is no longer possible to avoid the Stellar Pillar attack by using a support skill or shape-shifting. In Void Zephyr Strike, it is no longer possible to avoid the Howling Vortex attack by using a support skill or shape-shifting. Adjusted some ability names in conjunction with the changes to wrymprint functionality. Adjusted the UI on several other screens, which is good. Issues fixed. So this is always my, you know, the funnest thing to talk about because we always have so many things that we haven't even heard about. Although I've been having an issue that we'll see if it's even on here. The following issues have been fixed. After disconnected from co-op play and switching to solo play, users sometimes receive errors about idling in co-op. Did not have that. Some game elements cease to work after being disconnected from co-op play. Yep. When playing co-op, sometimes the enemy's affliction resistance differ between host and guest. With skills and force strikes enhanced due to skills, if a player could use a continue while the skill or force strikes were enhanced, the enhanced state was constantly maintained. With skills enhanced due to skills, the total damage might not have been displayed. With skills where there's a time gap before damage is applied, the damage for later attacks that hit was sometimes not added to the total damage. For bow adventurers, when a skill hit immediately after activating a force strike, sometimes multiple total damage values displayed one after another. Double buff abilities sometimes were not triggered due to last defense abilities. Sometimes the enemy wall did not display in the path and avenue of Fortune Master. Also, when a skill that had damage shield effect was used, trap damage was not nullified. Then we have the effects of the Fafnir statue flame and Fafnir statue wind facilities placed in the Halidom were not applied to the stats displayed on the weapon's change screen. And it might take some time to reflect all this information, but that is basically the big chunk of 1.6.0, the new game update. And also there is a tech issue that they want to call out, that they're with Hybrid Nilda, whenever she uses Volcanic Blitz skill, damage does more than expected. So this issue only happens in 1.0. Also, they're investigating the issue. Any further updates will be added to the notice. So, I look forward to hearing more about that. Also, I've been having a weird issue. Now, whenever I ran out of stamina and I tried to continue, but then I was like, oh, it's late, I'm not going to continue. Instead, I didn't have the arrow to go back. And so it made me restart my game completely in order to be able to get out of that screen. I would assume that in Android it wouldn't be an issue because usually you are able to get, either physical or unphysical, virtual buttons to go back. But I had this issue on my iPad. Let me know if you had that same problem as well. Last but not least, Gala Dragalia. Gala Dragalia was announced in the Gala Digest. I did talk about this yesterday, but now we have his full details. So the initial appearance rate for 5-star adventures and wrymprints will be increased to 6% from the standard 6. Up to 6 from the standard 4. This means you have more opportunities to get 5 stars out of this, and there's just a a little bit higher chance of you getting the banner unit. It is a limited time banner. Limited time Gala Dragalia versions of adventures will be added, and it's only available while Gala Dragalia is active. And our future adventure is RANZAL. You can leave everything to me, he says. So I think this is really cool that an original character has gotten a Gala version. I think there's just so many other characters they could have chosen, but we got RANZAL. And he is a wind sword user. He's an attack unit. He, his details. RANZAL has been appointed a commander in the Neo-Barbarian army. He wears armor made of by his friends, and has traded his axe of his mercenary days for a sword. He has still as boisterous as ever, but now has a dignity and presence of a leader. Right. So, he's all cool. His skills are Cyclone Blade, which deals wind damage to the target and nearby enemies. Wind Tactics. Activate Skill-clad Sword. The user's next 3 force strikes are powered up and can damage faraway enemies. Also increases the entire team's defense by 10% for 10 seconds. That's really cool, and it would probably be a really good move to do at the beginning of High Mercury. I don't know. Whenever we get High Mercury in less than a month. Also, his co-abilities are Dragon Haste plus 15%. Abilities! Oh my. So, experiences Boon 2 grants the user's attack gauge and burst gauge. The attack gauge fills when regular attacks connect with enemies, while the burst gauge is filled when 4 strikes successfully connect. For every completed filled gauge, the user's defense is increased. Any filled gauges are consumed when using the Cyclone Blade skill, increasing its power. Oh, interesting. So basically, as you fill the gauges based on, the first gauge is just by doing regular attacks, and the second gauge is by doing a lot of force strikes that do connect. Having those gauges filled and then doing the Cyclone Blade will cause Cyclone Blade to do much more damage, which is really cool. Also, he has Relentless Spirit 2, which reduces the susceptibility to freeze and fog by 100%. We do need fog for High Mercury, just FYI. And also skill damage plus 30%. He can increase his skill damage by 30%, which is pretty awesome. And of course, this is at max level, and that pretty much takes us to the end of that. I mean, there has been so many things that have been announced recently, And this is just, you know, the 1.6.0 update and calling out the Gala unit. There is so much more to come. I mean, just watch my video about the 6-month anniversary. There are so many things coming, just so many promotions, so many events, and it's gonna be a really good time for us. And if this is what they're doing for 6 months, imagine what they'll do for, you know, the full anniversary. So I'm very excited about this, and also about that collaboration that was also announced. I'm very excited and intrigued how they'll, you know, pull it off. Will we get their limited time units? And just so much hype. Let me know in the comments below, did you enjoy this video? Are you having any problems with the 1.6.0 update? Or just, you know, let me know what you think. Or, you know, also, what do you want to see in the channel in the future? Thank you all so very much for watching. Y'all are amazing. I hope you have a great day. And I need to run. So thank you so much for watching. And until next time, yeah, meow.